Ryan Day's culture at Ohio State is built on toughness, trust, and a standard that never wavers.
You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in, Buckeye fans, to your Tuesday edition of Locked On Buckeyes, which is your daily Ohio State podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, veteran sports talk host, delivering passionate coverage about your Buckeyes. And today's episode is brought to you by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. During today's show, we'll discuss the culture's impact on Buckeyes recruiting and roster retention. But first, Ryan Day wasted absolutely no time setting a strong foundation for the culture he wants at Ohio State. It would have been very, very easy for him to hang on to Urban Meyer's coattails and try to ride Meyer's success even well after Urban Meyer was gone out of Columbus, Ohio. That's not what he did. He followed a legend. He set himself up to be a future college football Hall of Famer by making sure everybody trusts the guy next to them on the football field. That toughness is preached daily, but also setting that standard way up there and making sure that thing doesn't change. And for anybody coming in right now to Ohio State that was a portal pickup in the winter or maybe a portal pickup in the spring, assuming the Buckeyes pick up a couple of guys right now, they know what the standard is already. Not just because of word of mouth or because of what a player says when they get on campus. They see it every day when Ohio State's talked about. They see it every day when Ohio State's playing a game. They see it. Ryan Day has set such a strong foundation that right now, and there's a lot of competition going on right now in practice, and there's a quarterback battle that is still up in the air, and there are players trying to get a starting running back role or a starting role on the D-line, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of competition. The standard is high. There was a lot of intense practice and battle during the spring, and there are even some times where guys were getting a little physical and scuffles happen. All that's for one goal, to repeat as national champions. Yes, there are other goals involved there, but Ryan Day realized, hey, after about a week and a half into spring practice, we haven't played a lot of ball. All the guys that are currently here, so what do we got to do? Crank up that intensity. Be a little bit more physical. Ryan Day did just that. Not only has Ryan Day done that, it's not the first time he's done this, where he's catered things to the team that he's currently coaching while also keeping the standard high. Think about if you're a coach and you are bringing a lot of guys into you because you're trying to put players up there that fit your style. You're a basketball coach. You want to have a run and gun style, a little fast-paced basketball, 40 minutes of hell maybe if you're playing college basketball. And the guys at the team, when you get there, they don't fit the mold of what you want. And so you're trying to come in and you're trying to shake things up a little bit and try to bring your guys in, but also figure out if the guys that are currently there have the goods to work with what you want to do. Because it's easy for you to come in and change things up and not try to figure out the guys that are currently there can work with what you want to do. But you might find a gym there that maybe didn't work in the previous coach's system, but works in your system. And the next thing you know, you find out that guy's your next starting point guard. And while he was a backup a year ago and a projected backup before you got there, he fits everything you want. And for Ryan Day right now, spring ball is over. Summer workouts are going to be getting underway soon. What are you going to find? The same intensity, the same things you saw in the winter, the same thing you saw in the spring. That's going to happen in the summer. But somebody's going to emerge. You may have a guy that's a backup right now that all of a sudden finds a culture and he buys into everything you're preaching, day in and day out. And while he was a protected backup at the end of spring practice, the next thing you know, he is getting everything. Because this took some time. It literally just took him a little bit longer to comprehend and to figure out how to apply the things that are being coached to him and taught to him on a regular basis on how to apply them on the football field. And when that thing clicks, baby, it's like there's a light bulb above my head. You see that thing flicker on, and you're like, oh, man, we got it. We got the goods now. And it's kind of refreshing to think about what Ryan Day has done right now. Is there are teams all around the country that are getting a lot of attention right now, and a lot of them that are getting the attention don't have the culture that Ohio State currently has. Now, Ryan Day going into year 7, it's not just a culture that is his, it's a high and lofty standard that is with this culture, a culture that is guys coming in on recruiting visits that realize there's something different about Ohio State, and different in a good way. That's because of Ryan Day and the kind of man that Ryan Day is and the kind of coach that he is. I think I can think about a couple teams right now that don't have the culture Ohio State currently has. I want to name them. I saw a clip going around recently of Michigan's quarterback, and I'm thinking the throw that was going around, I don't remember the national media outlet that was saying, oh, man, look at this quarterback. The throw that was made was routine. That young man did not make a spectacular throw. He made a routine throw that every starting quarterback in college football should be able to make. Yes, it was off a trick play. I say that a lot of people know the play I'm thinking about. But it was off of a trick play that he made a very routine throw. Well, what should be a very routine throw? But Michigan's culture is not Ohio State's, even if you take away the sign stealing. Let's take that out of the equation. Ryan Day in Ohio State's culture is stronger than Michigan's culture. There's no question about it. Colorado was recently on the ESPN2. They recently retired Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter's numbers. Some say it was premature, but if it was going to happen at some point, it was going to happen. If you look at the end of the season, if you know that Colorado is going to retire those guys' numbers at some point, Deion Sanders says, let's do that thing now. So that was him. But also, it's very, very clear, even if you don't look at what or listen to what Deion Sanders says during press conferences, the culture at Ohio State is better than Colorado's. The culture at Ohio State is stronger than USC's. It's stronger than Miami's. It's stronger than the Florida Gators. I mean, I can go up and down the country. Ohio State's standard is stronger. Why? Because of what Ryan Day has done and what he has built and what he's trying to sustain. He's figured out a formula of success. He knows the toughness that is needed to win a national championship, not only by his players, but by himself as well. The trust he talks about, the trust he wants from all of us, the trust he wants from everybody in the country, from guys on a team. He wants people to trust everybody. Hey, if I'm in a group with you and we got a group project and Ryan Day's a teacher, Ryan Day's going to preach. You got to figure out how to trust the person next to you, or you guys are not going to be doing the best work you can do. For Ohio State players, it's very easy for the guys on the O-line to say, do I trust the guy to my right? Do I trust the guy to my left? Okay, why? Because they're working as a unit that is doing things most people can't describe, and if they trust each other, you're going to move the ball down the field. Now, that's an easy way. Now, maybe a quarterback can't make a throw, but those are things that are reality. Ryan Day's did a great job. In the ever-changing world of college football, which is going to be changing even more and more and more, this time next year, we're going to look back over the previous 365 days and say, wow, college football changed a lot. I guarantee there are going to be rules about NIL, and there are going to be rules about the portal. That'll be new within the next 365 days. That's not me getting reports. That's just my gut feeling. Because what's going on right now, I guarantee there are people in the NCAA office that are not happy with NIL and the portal and other things going on right now in college football. Ryan Day was a little slow to roll with the new changes, but once he got up to speed and figured out his own pace, not somebody else's pace, his own pace, we see the result. You like the result? I love the result. I also love the result of Ohio State being able to retain the roster after spring ball, which is very, very big about what Ohio State can do in the fall. This episode is brought to you by Gametime. There's nothing like the atmosphere of an NBA playoff game. Every bucket, every defensive stop, every moment feels huge. It's electric in the arena, and with Gametime, you can be part of it without the stress of last-minute ticket hunting. Gametime makes it fast and easy to get playoff tickets, even when demand is sky high. Prices on the app actually go down as tip-off gets closer, and their last-minute deals can save you up to 60%. Gametime has the best last-minute deals, and they help you save up to 60% off buying last-minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and other events near you. The all-in pricing needs no surprise fees at checkout. What you see is what you pay. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply again. Create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Thank y'all for tapping the Locked On Buckeyes and making this show your first listen of the day. One thing I do almost religiously on the show, except today, is wear similar colors. Now, generally, I'm wearing a black hoodie, at least in the wintertime, a black hoodie or a gray hoodie. In the summertime, when it gets hot, I got a black shirt. Maybe I have a black Ohio State shirt with some red letters on it. I got a white shirt. I occasionally will pull out like a blue-greenish, but I'm a creature of habit. Today, what I am doing is wearing a red champion hoodie with black lettering on it for those that are listening on the Apple or anywhere you get to find audio podcast. And I decided to do it because, well, a black hoodie I normally wear, one I can't find. Another black hoodie I just washed. One of my gray hoodies I wear, I just washed. And I said, how about I don't try to go in the nursery where my son is and try to get a hoodie out when I could potentially wake him up and that could prolong some things. How about I just wear what I got on? While it is different, I could just do this. Well, Ryan Day has found a path to not allow things that are different to mess things up. And while on this show, like, it can be very, very easy for me to wear something different to think about in my head. Well, I got a different hoodie on, and this different hoodie is going to mess up the flow of the show. And all of a sudden, I could be stumbling over words, and I could not have my thoughts right. I need to be looking at my notes, but that don't even flow correctly. And things that are different could change my mindset. It could change the show. But Ryan Day has found a way, well, college football has been different, to not change anything. Like this show. This show is not changing because I'm wearing a different hoodie. I'm a man of habit, a creature of habit, superstition, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to allow that to mess up the show. Because you deserve, the listener of this show, the everydayers to understand there's a standard set for this show. That's not going to change. You got to put on a different color shirt or a different color hoodie. Or maybe I wear a hat, which I got a couple hats near me. No. What's going to be the same every single day? The flow of the show, the content of the show, making sure you get your Buckeye fix every Monday through Friday so you don't have to go anywhere else to get your Buckeye news. Right here. Well, Ryan Day is in the midst of changes. It's way more drastic than me changing a color of a hoodie to wear something else. No, it's way more drastic because you got dollars and cents involved. You got moms and dads involved. You got Oklahoma. You got USC. You got UCF, USF. You got Delaware. You got Idaho. You got all these different people, all these different universities that are trying to pull from your own roster, that are trying to take what you thought was going to be a big piece of the pie for your team in the fall. They're trying to go and tamper with certain players at Ohio State. Some that played a lot last year, some that didn't play at all. Why? Because they know the talent that you currently have. They know the kind of kids you bring into Ohio State, and they want some of that for their team. And right now what Ryan Day has done is found a way to retain the roster. And as of right now, at the time of this recording, Ohio State has lost none of their players that are on scholarship in the spring portal window. That's huge. I mean, think about it. Cal lost 4 running backs. 4 running backs from Cal went to the portal. One of Oklahoma's best defensive linemen went to the portal and has since gone back to Oklahoma. Nico Iamaleava was Tennessee's QB1 last year, came to the shoe and got his helmet broke. That's not a joke. My man's helmet literally broke in the game. Went to UCLA, not USC. Sorry, Bruins fans and Trojans fans for getting that mixed up. I know it's a hot button topic. But he went out there. Now, granted, it's his home. He's from California, so I get like maybe even giving them a hometown discount. But Cal thought they had those guys. Oklahoma was lucky to get a guy back. Tennessee thought they had Nico. And what do you find? Roster retention is harder than it's ever been in college football. And Ryan Day is finding a way right now to keep the players on the team. That's huge, man. Now you're going to bring in some other guys to compete right now in the offseason on the O-line and D-lines. And like I mentioned previously, if I'm an O-line or D lineman, or especially D lineman, I can go to another school. Yeah, you want to learn the scheme and learn the players and the coaches and things like that. But a lot of the stuff on defense is universal. Now, you got 4-3 and a 3-4. Like, the schematics are different. But your first 2 to 3 steps on the D-line, your coach is going to be saying the same thing everywhere. Win. Win, win, win. They're going to say that no matter what school you're at. Win. And Ryan Day right now, I'm just amazed, man. Because I'm not going to lie to you. I was a little frustrated with Ryan Day when Ryan Day decided to slow roll and take his time with the changes in college football, the NIL and the portal being the two biggest ones. I'm going to share my own thoughts about the NIL in a little bit and the portal. But Ryan Day decided to slow roll that thing. And I'm thinking, Ryan Day, you know what they be doing there in the South? He knows better than I do. The portal. Rules change in the Big Ten. Rules change even in the SEC where you thought rules wouldn't change with the portal in mind. And Ryan said, no, man, I'm going to slow roll it. I want to get a better handle on it before I go all in. And when he went all in, you saw the success that he had. Now, when it comes to the portal and the NIL, I still believe that these two things in college football need some type of structure. More structure than they currently have. They got structure, but the structure ain't working. NIL, they don't really enforce the rules. Portal, there are rules, kind of, but they don't enforce them. They don't enforce tampering. They don't enforce that NIL is supposed to be an endorsement-based thing, not a contract-based thing where you can go to a school, sign a contract, and you have this amount of money you're guaranteed to get. That's not NIL. It's supposed to be an endorsement-based, making money off your name, image, and likeness. Now, in the very definition of it, yes, if you go to a school and they want to help you want to sign a contract to make $1 million. Yes, you're making money off your name, image, and likeness, but that's not what NIL is supposed to be. Never has been, and I don't think it ever will be. But what we find right now in college football is that people are prioritizing the dollar so much that some guys are prioritizing the dollars and cents over development, and it's really hurting themselves getting drafted at the next level. Do I think Nico going from Tennessee to UCLA was a wise move for his development? Absolutely not. He's not even taking more money to go to UCLA. So, yes, there may be some schematic things, but the way Nico left doesn't sit well with me. Probably doesn't sit well with you either. The fact that he's not going to a better team with even if it was a better scheme, great. UCLA does not have a better scheme. UCLA is not more successful. UCLA does not have more talent. The things you want when you go to a school to play, especially when you're trying to go to the next level, UCLA does not have that over Tennessee. Oh, you know what UCLA has to do in the upcoming regular season that Tennessee does not? Come to the shoe. I'm not saying he's going to get the helmet broke 2 years in a row. But what I am saying is, Homer's going to go up against a defense, once again, that has future pros on it. And a year ago, well, a few months ago now, the last time that Nico played Ohio State, it was his worst statistical game as a starter in his career in college football. And it wouldn't shock me in the fall when UCLA brings them Bruins to the horseshoe if Nico has another bad statistic day. Why? I don't think he's going to get developed at UCLA. I don't think it was a great move for his future as a college football player. I don't think it's a great move for him with his development to be a first-round draft pick. I don't think that at all. Well, what's Ryan Day doing right now? Look at the mess of college football and realizing the culture we have is allowing us to keep our roster at a time when teams around the country aren't able to do that. Now, it takes tough conversations in the winter, tough conversations in the spring. It's a lot of stuff Ryan Day is doing that other coaches don't want to do behind closed doors because that's how you build a strong culture. Ryan Day's doing that. Ryan Day's fixing things. But Ryan Day is also not only setting a strong culture, it is helping him keep his own roster at the end of spring ball. But, buddy, let me tell you, it's going to help the Buckeyes on the recruiting trail as well. This episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. Baseball season is in full swing, and there's no better way to get in on the action than with PrizePicks, the best place for daily fantasy sports. With PrizePicks, you pick more or less on at least 2 player projections, and if you're right, you can win up to 1,000 times your cash. Whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, or first inning runs, PrizePicks keeps every game exciting. This week, I'm picking Aaron Judge for more than 1 home run and Shohei Ohtani for more than 1 stolen base. Y'all, it's that easy. Setting up a lineup takes less than 60 seconds, and when you win, your payout is quick, safe, and secure. I always take advantage of Taco Tuesday, where PrizePicks offers discounts on select player projections for even more value. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONCollege for $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. Thank y'all for tapping Locked on Buckeyes and making this show your first listen of the day. The everydayers know that around here, recruiting is the best way to build a roster. Well, it's the only way to build a roster, but it's the high school recruiting. Yeah, there's a transfer portal recruiting. It's a whole lot harder. Well, I don't say harder. There are some skills that you have to build a team through the portal that a lot of teams don't have, and also it's not the best way to build a team. What Ryan Day has done via the recruiting is figured out ways to get in on kids early. They just offered a kid in 8th grade as a running back. He's that special. He has a chance to be that special. The Buckeyes' strong culture trickles into every aspect of the team. And I think, Ryan, one thing that gets glossed over in recruiting, we look at the assistant coaching staff and the coordinators and head coach and say, get on the recruiting trail. Go all around the country, maybe go around the world to go find the right guys for this team. Okay, that's their job. Yes, you need them to recruit. Matt Patricia came in, he knows he needs to recruit. James Leonidas got promoted from GA to linebackers coach. He knows he needs to recruit. All across the coaching staff, the tennis the coaches, Ryan Day, they know in their job description, it is to recruit. But one thing I think gets glossed over is the importance of Mark Pantoni, the GM of the football team, who just got a new contract being one of the highest football GMs in the sport, in college athletics in general. But also, there's a whole team of people that you have probably never seen, or you probably don't know their names, of guys that are behind the scenes keeping their tabs on everything going on around the country on the recruiting side of things at the high school level. From the seniors and juniors and sophomores and freshmen, they even have their eyes out for trying to find the right kind of 8th grader to get their eyes on early, to get in front of the coaches early. Because the coach has so much to do, and Ohio State has the funds to pay people to make sure that they don't miss any elite athlete out there. Carlos Lockle made a comment recently about C.J. Donaldson, and I believe it was something during media day of one of the bowl games where he was talking about Donaldson, bringing him in. And Lachlan said, it's my job to know about all the running backs in the country. I mean, if you're a dude, Lachlan's going to know about you. I don't know if I've heard a coach say that in a really long time. Now, I'm not saying it's not said, but the fact that Lachlan's on the record of saying, it's my job to know about these guys around the country. Now, he also said Donaldson's a guy that I recruited. So there's a relationship that was previously there that now is going to be even stronger than it was previously. He talked about Travion Henderson being a guy he recruited that he is now coaching. So he had a relationship with Henderson before Lachlan got to Columbus. Same thing with James Peoples, and he was down in San Antonio. Lachlan's ability to, one, build relationships, but two, have the wherewithal to know that it's my job to do some things that are hard, that a lot of guys don't want to do. I mean, there are guys out there that just want to coach. They don't want to recruit. There are guys that want to cut their teeth and be known as a recruiter, but they don't want to coach. But Lachlan's saying, I got a job to do both. To give these boys the best of himself that he could give them every single day. And if that means making sure that their practice is on point, of course it's his job, so do it. If that means making sure that Ohio State and Ryan Day and Heartline have the best running backs on the recruiting trail, extending those offers and then accepting those commitments, yes, that's his job too. It's his job to do so much stuff. And while Lachlan's has quickly become one of my favorite assistant coaches, I love him because of stuff like this. I love him because he has the presence of mind to know it's my job to do hard things daily. And Ryan Day is, one, understanding that Lachlan has what it takes to get the job done, but two, that's the same type of mindset that Ryan Day currently has at Ohio State. Coaching is hard. Recruiting is hard. Game prep is hard. Practice on a Tuesday, Bloody Tuesday, is hard. A walkthrough, the best Fridays of football. This stuff is hard. Missing time with your family is hard. But what is it all geared towards? Moving towards winning a national championship. Yeah, I don't really like there are professions out there that cause you to lose time with your family or cause you to lose sleep or cause you to do X, Y, or Z. Yeah, I don't like that at all. I know that there are certain things when you lose sleep and there's health, there's negatives to your health when you're losing sleep and family, when you're not getting all the family time. That's not really the thing that you want to do when you get married, you have kids, you want to spend time with your family, but also you get paid to do this. Lachlan gets paid to do this. And these two guys, and Day and Lachlan, are following through with what they committed themselves to do. Yeah, Day knows he's going to lose sleep. He's going to lose family time. I don't know. I don't think he goes back and forth like Kirk Herbstreit does between his son. Well, he previously did between watching his son's high school football games and then going to game day on Saturday. I don't think Ryan Day goes back and forth to watch his son RJ play on a Friday night to go back to where the game is on a Saturday if it's an away game. That's tough, man. It's tough. But while it's tough, Ryan Day's also built a culture in the coaching staff and built a culture around the country. The only recruiting trail, Ohio State standards, different than other teams. I know a lot of people say they want to win national championships. I know a lot of people believe they have the goods to win a national championship. But it starts with the culture. You can bring 5-star in and 5-star here and 4-star there and give them top dollar to get them off the recruiting trail. That's great. But also, that's not a formula for success. And as I say that, I mentioned UCLA and Tennessee and Colorado earlier, and even Michigan earlier, things at schools that things aren't going well for. Not with the culture. The culture, when it comes to recruiting, Ryan Day's just different, man. Different in a great way. The culture, if I'm a guy that's trying to, that's what I was thinking about recently. I was trying to figure out where I was going with mentioning Tennessee and Michigan and the culture, they're not being great. Texas A&M had a run of getting a lot of 5-star guys and giving them a lot of money to come down there and play at College Station. Great, cool. That works for you. It's not what NIL is meant for, and the rules aren't being enforced. So great. Like, you did what you had to do to get those guys there. What happened? They didn't have the right foundation. They weren't developing guys like they should have been. And the culture was not strong enough to sustain and keep those guys there, retain those guys. Yes, Ryan Day's culture recruiting is different than A&M's. And we collectively see the results. Thank y'all for tapping on Locked on Buckeyes right here on a Tuesday and making this show your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the Locked on NFL Draft with Damian Parson and Keith Sanchez. As your favorite collegiate players get ready for the next level, get the latest draft rankings, rumors, y'all, and get the news every day. Find Locked on NFL Draft and Locked on Buckeyes on the YouTube or wherever you get your fine podcasts. You can follow me on any social media platform at jstevens07. Send every email to jstevens317@gmail.com. This has been Locked on Buckeyes right here on a Tuesday. We'll see you next time.